All right, here we go. Let's get started. Today we are talking about the coordinate plane. So the coordinate plane is made up of an x-axis or a line that goes across horizontally and a y-axis that goes up vertically. In the intermediate grades, we're going to just be working with one of the planes, and it's this one right here. It only considers or uses numbers that are positive integers. So these are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going across, and then the same numbers going vertically. Now, this coordinate grid is used to help us to locate things a little bit more precisely. So sometimes this is helpful, for instance, on a map. Okay, we can also use this to graph different pieces of data or information. But to begin with, let's look at trying to identify different places on the coordinate grid. So for this first coordinate grid that I have up here, let's think about where the star is. All right. You can see the star, and you might say, well, it is up 2 and then across 1. So maybe the coordinates are 2, 1. Right? But then you can also see it could be ordered 1, 2. You can go across and then up 2. So which is it? What does the star equal for an ordered pair? Well, like everything in math, it's helpful to have some rules. So the rule that we want to follow is we want to go x, we want to follow the x line first, or axis, and then y is the second ordered pair. Here's the way I remember that. In the alphabet, which letter comes first? That's right, X, Y, Z. So it goes X first and then Y second. So the ordered pair for the star in this case is over 1 up 2. And sometimes you'll see them in parentheses like this too. Okay, so we call that an ordered pair. All right, can you find where A is? Where is A on this coordinate grid? Okay, I'll let you pause the video and try to find out what A equals. And when you're done with that, you can find out where the heart is on the coordinate grid and tell me what that equals as well. Okay, so I'll let you pause the video. Hopefully you have a piece of notebook paper and you're taking some notes as we work. These coordinate grids will take you a little bit longer maybe to set up on your paper, but it shouldn't take too long. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of make a grid the same as mine. So go ahead and pause it and give it a try. Okay, boom. You can see A equals 4, go over 4 on the x-axis, and up 5 on the y-axis. That's the vertical line. So the up-down is vertical, and then the across is horizontal. So the heart is at 4, go across 4, and then up 1. Okay, so if we have, sometimes you might have a point on one of the axis lines. So that's something that we could go over as well. So if I have a green 0 or circle, where would that be if I said it's at 0, 2? Okay, see if you can find that on the coordinate grid. Okay, think about it and go ahead and plot it. So for this one, because it starts at 0, it doesn't go over at all on the x-axis because it's 0, and then it just goes up to 2. So this would be where the point is. So the circle, the green circle, would be about right there. Okay, 0, 2. Sometimes you'll have that as well. Now, another kind of problem you might have is, what is the distance between 2 points? They might ask you, what is the distance between 2 points? Now, we can find that pretty simply. Let's look at A and the heart. How far apart is A from the heart? Okay. What's the difference between them in distance? So we count distance using the units. Each one of these lines here on the coordinate grid is 1 unit in length. All right. So for the A and the heart, all you would have to do, since they are vertically oriented, they're straight up and down, is you would subtract the y-axis. Okay. You would take 5 and subtract 1. So the distance between point A and the heart point is 4. Okay, 4 units in length. Here we can count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and so you can see right here, if I subtracted them vertically, all right here, 5 take away 1 is 4. Okay, so we know that it's 4 units of length, or 4 is the answer of the distance between them. All right. So another kind of problem we might ask ourselves is, how could you make a rectangle using point A and the star shape? What would be the other vertices in the figure? So I'm going to get rid of some of this work here. What would they be? So let's call the 2 points, let's just call them B and C, okay? So what would be the other 2 points that you would come up with to create a rectangle, or actually a square? Oh, hold on here. Okay, back. All right, sorry about that interruption. So now, the other 2 vertices or points, remember a vertex is where 2 lines meet, they form a point. So they're kind of like corners of a room. So, or a shape like a square or rectangle. So I said rectangle, but it could also be a square because the units will be the same length, I'm noticing. What would be what would be the point for B and C? All right. Now these could vary a little bit. You could, we'll find out. So go ahead and pause it and see if you can create the points for what B should be and C to make a rectangle using points A and the star. Boom. Okay, so I wrote B as 1, 5. You could also put it as 4, 2. So you could reverse these if you wanted to make C the same point as I put for B. Then I put C equals 4, 2. So you go over 4 and up 2. And you can see if you look at the green dashed lines, I've made a rectangular shape, or you can call it a square. Because remember, a square can be a rectangle, or a rectangle can be a square, but not every rectangle is a square. Okay, so we have covered the coordinate grid. This is pretty much all we need to do at this point. Let's go ahead and try a couple more just for practice. See if you can graph these ordered pairs on the coordinate grid, okay? I'll write some down and you go ahead and plot them. We'll say this is, let me give myself a little more space here. All right, so this is just a little practice. You got to create your own on your notebook paper. I'm running out of a little bit of room here. Room is at a minimum here, my spacing. All right, there's 4 points. Let's see if we can plot those 4 points. Point B, point D, point X, and point S. Go ahead and do that. Pause the video. Shouldn't take you long at all. Shazam, there we go. So if you look, B is 2 over 2 and up 3. Then I have plotted, so over 2, up 3. Then I've plotted D as over 0, so not at all, and all the way straight up to 7. Then I plotted X. X is over 1, up none, or 0. So there's X. And then the last one is S, over 3 and up to 9. All right. That's it for now. We have covered the coordinate grid. This is good practice, our first time through it. Until next time, folks, where we'll probably look at kind of input and output charts and how they might be used with our coordinate grid. Until next time, folks. Ciao.